Beautiful heart family. Today we just have an enormous treat, just a delight beyond compare to have two of my star sister and brothers here, Thoth and Leela. Precious, precious souls on this call with us. And those of you who have been in their holy presence will be resoundingly dittoing that. But I just wanted you to have an opportunity for us all together to talk to their consciousness directly about some of the things that maybe you had wanted to ask them when they were doing a performance another time, or as you just tune into their energy today, because they both have very unique strains of consciousness, and their ability as transformers, alchemists, is phenomenal. I mean, really phenomenal through sound. So that is, only one of their gifts, but that is a very primary and huge part of the gifting that they offer. So I could give you a very much longer kind of introduction to Thoth and Leela, but I'd rather have us use up our time with them expressing who they are so that we can really vibe in with that. And I just wanted to start really by having us all just weave our energies together. Just imagine in this moment a color of light. Just close your eyes and really drop into your heart. And send to the center of our cauldron this day, of this chalice, a color of light that represents your energy. And allow it to go into this chalice, creating our unified field of awareness through which whomever is on this call is ultimately blessed, and all those beings who will hear this recording, and that the waves will go out into the collective, are being touched by our unified field. So really knowing that the alchemical work we're doing here is for the one. Whatever is said, whatever is done for the one heart. Really feeling that and allowing that vibration. Sending out the ray, letting it mix with everyone else's, merging into a beautiful chalice of unified energy in the one heart. And with that, we'll just move in this more and less meditative. This is more of an interview format on Community Luminaries, so it leaves space for you to interface more. If there's something you want to ask or add to the conversation, feel free to do that. Whereas in some of the other calls, as you know, it's all about meditation and we're not talking. So this one is about sharing. So everyone's welcome to. Where I would like to start is to ask, how would you describe yourselves, Leela and Thoth, if you were to say, I am a, or we are a, how would you describe yourselves?
Well, I consider myself a soul finding a perfect path to death. And I have a companion of inestimable height and depth to help me in my path. And in that case, I find her to be the most blessed companion I could ever have chosen, ever wished for, ever had experienced.
Thank you. Let me ding that one, Thoth.
He's speechless.
You know, I can feel that in my heart. I can feel your devotion. Thank you. That's so beautiful to witness. Thank you, sweetheart. And Leela.
It's so wonderful. Oh my. I am a constantly evolving spirit of light that is moving on a path of epic immersion into sound and love, being able to express the depth of my beingness every day with this incredible teacher. Love being magnificent, wondrous artist spirit that I have known throughout the centuries, and holds me so strongly and so lightly, and gives me space to learn and grow in ways that I never could have imagined I would be able to grow and learn.
Wow.
I'm really grateful.
Thank you. It's a really, really beautiful descriptor. And you know what I'm really finding exquisite about it is how much you have grown, Lila, since the first time I met you, in your ability to quintessentialize and bring down to the heart message. That was a very great distillation of a lot of potential information into such beauty, such a beautiful quintessential expression. Thank you for that, both of you. Okay, so that's our starting point. You know, those are, that's who we're being with at this moment. I could tell you that I see them as stellar alchemists. I really feel like they're who they are as alchemists that have come from the stars here. It has a phenomenal potentiation of transmutation simply through sound, just pure sound. And I was wondering, what I really wanted to ask you is, have you developed any, in developing this channel that you have to this sound to alchemically transmute, is there any practices, or are there any practices that you would recommend people doing to open up that sluiceway, that channel to divine light moving through you? And we can all just be silent for a minute so you can really feel the answer to this.
I immediately speak of stillness because I'm just so big on stillness. Everything for me is a beginning to listen for the divine word, for the moment of beginning, the moment of calling, the moment of sonic expression. And when it's perfect, when it is that moment where the love is exactly aligned with what is necessary, and everything else other than that can just be ego, or can be created by an explosion or something this way, that. But when it truly is right, then it is unexpected even to oneself. And
beautiful. I just have to
one
stop.
and
just hold on. That. Hold on. So beautifully spoken. Thank you. Yeah, that everything else is predicated on stillness. Okay. Go on. Is there more there?
It is just the notion that to be ready for the unexpected in self as well as in the world, so that one is not coming from a place of in a sense of preparation, of expectation, of practice even. Because all of those need to be let go of to be there for that moment. And and I adore that moment, adore it truly.
So you're living for that moment of the mystery that's just going to come through you in the unexpected moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful.
And I always prepare to be at that moment. That's what for me performance is to give myself the opportunity to be there, to be. And that's the prayer is called I am.
Beautiful. So the stillness of I am,
Yes.
Right? I mean, that juxtaposition.
Exactly. Waiting for what am I? And there then comes that
Aha moment of revelation. Yeah. Oh, beautiful description. Thank you. Lila.
I'm finding, as I'm coming more into that just simple act of being, just the simple act of presence and enoughness, just that here I am in each moment. I can choose how I want to approach things. I can choose how I want to be affected by things. And the more I take responsibility for what little I have control over, which is myself, my being, and what I project into the universe, the more peace I can have, and thus the more I'm able to go out and do this work and just be at great peace. This is enough. Each time I do it, this is absolutely as much as I ever need to do.
Wow. That is awesome. Can anyone else resonate with having come to this place in your journey where you know that you're enough in what you're doing, that whatever it is in the moment that's moving through you is enough? You feeling that or know that in themselves? That's such a critical knowingness. It is for all of us in our journey. So I know one of the things that is most unusual about you is your relationship with each other. And I don't know how much you want to share about that or not share about that, but you have a very unusual, I mean, I could apply the word unusual to every aspect of your existence for sure, but a very unusual relationship. So if either of you wish to speak to that question, I think people would be very interested in knowing that.
I have so much, I so want to share this kind of relationship that we have with people. I have a desire that more people should know that this kind of relationship is possible, that you can be together enmeshed in someone and with someone and completely enlivened by someone, but also be your own individual through that togetherness. And that we do a work together, we do a devoted daily artistic work together and sing together into each other's eyes every single day, but we're also deeply in love, and we have a relationship that's we're together because of the work we do, but we also love each other just as we are. For example, I can have a very bad day and he is just there for me. He will hug me and kiss me and hold me. And I feel like he deeply understands me in a way that, because we do a work together, he understands everything I'm going through. And one of the largest aspects of that work is that I'm a virgin. And it's actually a point of extreme importance for me that Thoth and I have never engaged in like intense physical intimacy. I've remained a virgin as a choice, and Thoth has supported me in that. He's a monk, and we use that energy to enhance our work and increase our work in a conscious way. And it's possible for that to happen. You can be in a union, in a devoted union, but it not be based on sex, and it not be based on needing a certain physical aspect of your partner, even though we are so intermeshed and intertwined in all ways.
Wow, that is very unusual, really deeply unusual. Is there anything more you would want to add to that thought?
I would, because the word that sometimes is applied to us is twin flames, or what is the other one? Star
Seeds,
Lovers,
something like that.
But it almost always is in reference to people's sexual connection. And we have from the first established a telepathic field with each other, because we have to be so in contact with each other as we're singing and playing. We have to be note on note that it's impossible to prepare for that. We have to be almost in each other's minds and bodies to match. I can't even tell you what we're doing now.
I don't know.
It's just like runs together. And I think that telepathic field, when it established, then becomes a tantric expression, so that the music then is of that epitome of tantric energy, building energy to an explosive, orgiastic love expression that is then transmitted to an audience. I don't know what that sounds like.
well, I do, and it's pretty hot stuff. That's all I can say. Yeah, I get that. I mean, the way you two are linked in telepathically while you're pre-forming is completely transformative to those hearing you. There's such divine union. It just makes me cry thinking about it. And we will get a sample of their sound here. You're not going to be titillated endlessly in all this foreplay until you will get to have a little bit of sound here. But I felt it was important for us to get some hooks and eyes to connect with these beautiful beings before we did that, shared a bit of their sound. And then hopefully one day you will go down to where they perform in the tunnel by the Arboretum in Golden Gate Park in an evening, is when they're performing at night. Cold. I went there. I did it myself. It was absolutely incredibly vivifying on all levels. So I hope that all of you will get that direct experience. And of course, we're hoping they'll come to our spring equinox and be there.
Yes, we're planning.
We plan to.
Right, that you get a direct experience there. So anyway, I bifurcated and went off on a holographic tangent. Can anyone bring me back in here? I'm trying to remember who we were.
I think I have a thing to add about the...
There we go.
I think I have something to add about the uniqueness of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
In that we are we're committed in our work, that there is no envy, there is no jealousy, in terms of any other relationships we have with other people, close friendships we have, other people that we've performed with, there's no confusion or envy or any problems. We don't have any usual problems that couples have. We don't argue, we don't fight, we definitely can
express our feelings.
Yes, we do. And we can get a little upset with each other sometimes, but we have to clear like that. It has to be cleared away, because we sing into each other's eyes every single day. So if there's any blockage or anything that's in the way, it has to be cleared immediately. So it just feels like for us, it's just almost spontaneously happened that it's just the most perfect relationship. I'd never been in a relationship before. So he is my one and only truest love. But we're also individuals. Through our complete bond, we have become like this. We are very strongly our own people. That's important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that you're both totally sovereign beings who are deeply devoted to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to be. We've chosen to be in partnership. It's not a have to. It's not Like it's a choice. We've made a choice. As two sovereign, strong beings, we can be our own people and be together.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you. That was a wonderful add-on to the whole relational question. And I have other questions I can ask, but I want to stop for a moment and you to feel into if there's something you either want to share or ask Thoth and Lila at this point. And it looks like Joanne is ready to. Go ahead, Joanne.
Well, first of all, I wish to say to you both that from the moment I heard you first when you came to the summer solstice at Deva's home,
It's pretty much how everybody was.
So, and then just hearing what you have said so far about the nature of like the answer of identity and who you are, what has occurred to me, and now I get to ask it, is I think of two things. First, if I could even go out galactically and beyond, of where do you feel you came from? Who are you? And why are you here and have come together at this time on the planet? Because it scintillates off. I just know there's something there that is, it's just a sheer grace and blessing on this third dimensional, apparent 3D field of reality. So I would love to hear how you would articulate that, who you are, why you came together, and in that, the purpose in service at this time.
Beautiful question. Thank you.
What a fabulous question. Thank you so much.
Well, as we've traveled, I've been called everybody's brother, and I can only hold that to be true. That in my mixedness, in my gender mixedness, in my racial mixedness, and my mixedness, I'm everybody's brother. I'm of this planet. I'm everybody's. And yet, hearkening from a place where everybody is their brother, sister, and speaking for Lila at the moment, which she can speak for herself, I feel that she's my angel assistant, in a sense, to bring forth this this modeling of brotherness, brother sisterness, to really honor that and to really see that we are all brothers and sisters, and that we are here to again return to the stars with full love.
Thank you.
Nicely said. My mind just goes a million miles an hour when I hear this kind of question. I don't think we've ever been asked that kind of question before. It's for me, I have always felt like I am not human. Some of my closest friends will identify me very much as an alien species, that I'm not, will reflect to me that a lot of the times I seem like I'm not really used to being in this body. When I go through emotional storms and things, to get it out, I'll do things that just seem so alien. And that is how I feel. I don't feel male or female. I don't feel, I definitely feel like an agender pixie alien creature. That's always how I've identified myself. I feel that I come from a place where I've been writing about it, and we've written operas about these things for years. I feel like I'm from a land that everybody sings in order to communicate. And everybody dresses very colorfully and lightly and beautifully, and people can float around in order to get places. And when I'm in this world, it can be very hard for me because it's a lot of dark blacks and grays and browns, and people are not very free And so whenever I go out in the world, I'm always jumping around, wearing very light colors, and I feel like I'm bringing that kind of alien transmission all the time, whenever I'm anywhere I am. And then with being with Thoth, he's kind of a grounding, more of a grounded, earthy type, tribal being. And I almost feel like I kind of descended upon him, because he, for a long time, he was performing to an angel in Central Park, a statue. And I feel like I kind of descended as the physical embodiment of that for him. And then I could take him away and take him out of this tunnel and bring him to the world, which I have done. And so that's our relationship. And, you know, it has been my duty in life to bring him to the world, to bring him to people, because otherwise he would be very inward and stay on his own. And I'm very out. I like to, you know, be sharing with people. So, and during this time, it's especially important to be this completely alien creature and show people that magic and beauty and wonder is possible, that these things are possible, even when everyone's wearing a mask and everyone is afraid and pumped full of fear, that we always go out in the world with this fearless attitude, just to be. Try to kind of let that rub off onto people.
Thank you. That's a beautiful response from both of you. Thank you. I'll never forget the moment when they both walked into the spring equinox ceremony outside in the park where we'll be this time. And I just started, my heart just went, like there was an instant recognition of knowing them from the stars, that it was clear that that our roots were in the stars. And that is my response to this, Joanne, is, you know, that it was very clear that the resonant frequency was so similar to my own that it was like a complete heart recognition of like embracing them as immediate family. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming from the stars to be here and to elevate human consciousness in this way. It's so touching. Thank you both for all the living on the edge that you've done in your life to be able to continue to give your gift in absolute integrity with who you are as an essence. Thank you for that gift.
Thank you.
Yay. So that beautiful question. Diana, do you have one?
I have something that I just want to share in terms of when you were speaking of music creating Tantra, taking us into ecstatic expressions of divine love. And that when I had the privilege of witnessing and taking into my own essential self the sounds that were coming from you, what I was witnessing was a tantric creation that was emitting a toroidal field of energy. It was, as you moved together, it was so clear to me what was happening, and that field was so large, so enhanced, that it encompassed all of us who were the sacred witnesses. So wow. I just wanted to bow to that. I look so forward to getting to be in both of your holy presence again and to allow the magic to fill all of us. And I only had this short time to be here today, but I just wanted to see you both and tell you I loved you.
Oh,
thank you
so much, Jade Lotus. That expresses so much of my truth too, of the
Luminaries.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Love you both.
Thank you for joining us.
Love you too. Thank you.
Yay. So any other reflections or questions from our heart family here? Just really feel into your bellies and hearts to see if there's something that really you want to bring forward to utilize this incredible opportunity to be with their consciousness and have it responded to. And if nothing's coming up right now, perhaps this is the moment for us to put the sound on. What do you think?
There, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, are you wanting to speak? Please do.
Yes. Just out of curiosity, just in general, what have you learned from each other with your experience of life together?
Oh my goodness. Do you have a couple of hours?
Just right off the top of your head.
I'll be pretty simple about it. When she came to me, she wanted to learn, and I'm not a teacher. I don't know how to teach. And now she's this budding, beautiful, growing spirit, and I've helped her, and I have to open to the fact that maybe I can teach.
Maybe you can't. What? I didn't hear that.
Maybe I can teach. Maybe I can.
Oh, you
help.
can be a teacher. Oh yeah, duh. Okay.
So she showed me that I can help another being learn and to become more proficient in certain of their skills.
Yeah. Beautiful.
This man is a born teacher. He is a teacher without, there's no force. There is no do this, do that, and I'll sit back and watch. Like most teachers, in our modern society do. He is the Socratic teacher of history. And we definitely follow that path of teacher and student from the eons of, the young one learning from the older one. And the things that I have learned from being around him, there was utter acceptance, instant acceptance of me. Very little resistance to my presence in his life. Just accepting. He just flowed with the whole thing, and amazing to look back at that and see that he has been protected by the universe. The universe gave me to him, and the universe gave him to me, in that I am helping him because I'm younger and I have, I'm younger, that I'm able to help him continue to do his work until he dies. And then he's helped me just through modeling day after day after day, incredible discipline, self-motivation, patience, working hard, softening the ego. I was incredibly, had the hugest ego in existence when I first met him. So
That's an accolade, Goth.
So he has been the most patient and humble and giving teacher. I mean, it's priceless, the information that I've learned. But the biggest, I think, is learning patience and learning self-discipline and self-motivation. Our whole life is built around, we must do it on our own. We don't have to clock in or clock out. There's no expectation, no outside anything really. We have to build the whole thing on our own. Every single day we go out and for an hour and we set it up, do the show, finish and pack up, and we never know what's going to happen. And now this is ingrained into me. I will go do the work regardless of what's happening. It's raining, snowing, Thoth is sick, whatever is going on. I am devoted to this work because I know it works. You show up and you do the work every single day. And I would never have learned this if I didn't meet someone and wasn't around someone who was just purely devoted.
That was a great question, Tomorrow. Thank you for that beautiful answer.
If I might share something real quick, my husband's grandmother would channel entities. And that one thing that she would say is, watching is learning. So, yes.
Mm.
That's for sure. Modeling. Thank you.
100%.
Yeah, beautiful.
1,000.
On the physical plane here on Earth, how did you meet? And when you saw each other, it had to be so instantaneous. And how long had you known each other?
That's a very long story in a sense, but
Oh, yes, it is.
I was doing my work in a tunnel in Central Park called which I dubbed the Angel Tunnel, because there's an angel there, and she was being bullied by her classmates, and she was looking for an angel to be succored, and she found me there, and heard me sing, and the first thing she said was, "I love your voice. You're a countertenor." And I said, because nobody calls me a countertenor, everybody thinks I'm a falsetto. And I said, "Oh, you're intelligent." And that, and that was the beginning. And in actuality, she had a code word.
Yeah.
To approach me that she knew only because she was smart enough to know that word, and I knew it because nobody ever called me that. And it's just one of those magical things that you read in books.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's almost like I had a key. I had the right key to unlock the secret door, and it just opened. That was at the end of October 11th, 2008 was when we first met. And I had moved to New York to study theater at a conservatory. Was very miserable, and went there and saw him. And basically from the moment I saw him, I kept coming back, and I told him I was going to. He didn't believe me because, he, as I know from experience now, 12 years of doing this work, that people don't really come back. People don't do what they say. And I did. And I see how impossibly rare what I did was for him. And he just, like I said, he didn't resist. He didn't resist too much. He was with somebody else at the time. So that was complicated. That really complicated things for about a year. And so there was a lot of pain and things like that associated with how we got together initially. It wasn't just like love at first sight, and we just immediately, there were complications in the way. But within a year, we had made a decision, and he had to leave his home and his girlfriend and his puppy, where he'd lived in Queens for about 10 years prior, and leave the Angel Tunnel in order to go off with me. And we, in a year later, the end of 2009, and we started traveling in Europe, having nothing, and built everything up from there because we just believed in what we were doing. We knew we had to pursue it. So
that's a great answer as well. Is there more?
No, that's good.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have a book that's going to be forthcoming, right?
Yes.
Where you can tell more.
Yeah, to that
Thank you
point,
for
Marcia,
sharing.
I'm telling, I can feel this as a spiritual autobiography, but actually transmitted through you, as long as it doesn't take you off your purpose, of the service this would be, per your last words there, Lila. And I forgot the words, access it. You said something just then where I went, it would be in service to awaken people, and for the courage it took to leave 10 years and to follow with a secret code word, the highest calling of awakening to true origin and purpose.
Wow.
Only be fulfilled with each other is the storyline and the message, and how critical it is this time on the planet for people to get who they are and why they're here and get into service and do it, is your manifestation, for which I so deeply honor.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you for that clear speaking, Joanne. That is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Very.
Very clear. And we so concur that this, if as it is willed by the one, that this be somehow a film or a book or whatever, that people can start recognizing what it's like to live life in the absolute passion of your power and purpose, and just be on the edge, whatever it takes getting there. You're living proof that it works.
Yes.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
I feel like I've said this several times now, but it really, it's basically like every time we go out to do the work, it's giving people a chance to see what is truly possible in this life, that you can devote completely 100,000% to your heart, to your belief, to your bliss, and you can go out in this world, in this 3D dimension, in this very, complicated, backwards world, and do what you love, and you can live, and you can positively impact people in ways that we'll never know. We don't know how many lives we've affected.
Well, it depends on whether you're toting it up alchemically or not. If you're talking about how the vibrations are going out from what you're doing, it's incalculable what you're doing here.
Yeah, incalculable.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, for staying on purpose and being really in the heart of your truth.
Just to add a slight addendum, this time there are many transmutational effects happening. And when I had my my Kundalini episode, and right as COVID was starting, I realized that our time had begun, and that this time is all about putting out this beautiful energy to hold and to filter into the minds, hearts of people in this time, to really help them once the transformation has finished.
Yes.
Yeah, what an interesting.
This is the time. This is
reframe of COVID. That you recognize that was a moment of like a trigger point that was saying, this is our time to absolutely bring our gift here.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful reframe. Thank you.
Yes. And we have never, ever stopped. We never once stopped going out to play. Not once. There's not been one moment where we didn't go out to play through this whole, everything shut down, stay at home orders, all this stuff.
Yeah.
We never ever
said, never mind.
No.
Doing this.
We're on a different plane of reality where we do not, say, oh, well, I guess we need to step in line and do what we're told.
It's the trust in the bliss. If this bliss is to be denied, then I don't want to be here anyway.
Oh, beautiful. Well said. If this bliss is to be denied, I'd rather not be here. So let's go for the bliss. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm so in that camp with you. I'm right there. So I think we should have a taste, because we're getting close up to our hour, I think, and not that we have to stop immediately at one, should we put something on? They've got to at least get a taste of this transcendent sound, and then we can come back to questions.
I would say let's go for the bliss.
Exactly. Good idea. Even though Zoom is a very compromised form.
Yes.
Oh boy, we're having a real compromised sound situation. We can get the dance, but if we can't get the sound any better, we might.
Doesn't work.
So why is the sound not coming in?
It's Zoom.
Zoom.
It's just weird.
Is it just?
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh.
Perhaps I can help. Are you doing your share computer sound?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And you're just playing it from YouTube? Are you just playing it from YouTube?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and you're doing the share screen and share computer sound.
Correct.
Then unless you go to your preferences and you put up the your output sound. Let's see, in the audio, there should be a way to output your speakers, to have your speaker output volume high.
I did.
Okay, and then the volume's obviously high on the YouTube channel. There, yeah, that little volume switch. That one, yeah, it is. Okay, can you hear it well where you're playing it?
Can you hear it on yours, Argon?
I can. Yes.
But we can't.
Let me
Oh, dear, I'm gonna have a fit.
Can you listen to it?
Now I hear it.
Done.
It's going on and off, but can we actually watch it on YouTube? And with that, I just took a photo of the.
Maybe that's what we ought to do, is give them the links, you guys, so they
Yeah,
can
I thought that'd be better.
on YouTube.
Oh, I can't wait to watch. Oh my God. The visual is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is out
amazing.
in the tunnel in San Francisco at night. It's so exquisite.
It's
Uh,
very specifically, it's at sunset.
Nightfall.
Nightfall, yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday.
Indigo light.
Oh,
When
that's so
we come out.
yeah.
Aw, blessed be. Well, then we'll let it go. Thank
It
you,
is the
Argon, for
tease.
trying.
Geez, everybody
Blessed
can
be. We'll just have
Oh,
to
we
be
will.
We'll have to just feel the bliss of the love between them. That's obvious. That's unassailable. So, but you can
Yeah.
when we do the after email, then Argon, we'll just put in the some links, because they have a whole
Yeah.
bunch of links on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
But moreover, I really want to invite you to come, those that live close to the spring equinox, to hear them live, because it's like nothing you've ever heard. So, and those of you who are not, I'm sure that's the best, right? To go to YouTube and
Yeah.
hear you that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was titillation for nothing, man. I'm sorry about that, you guys. I knew Zoom was bad, but not that bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
You know what? I want to remind you that my friend, in fact, the person that connected me with the way I met, thought that originally, before I physically met him, was my friend Wade in New York, sent me a video. In fact, it was an Academy Award winning video that did in that. He said, "You've got to meet this guy, Ariel. I mean, this guy's a star person, you know."
Amazing. Yeah.
And
So,
you got to meet this guy. I said, "Well, how's that going to happen?" Well, Mother just brought him to my door. That's how it happened.
what? It's,
Yeah, craziness.
that is,
But Wade,
So
that was
insane.
holographing off to, Wade is involved right now with a sound company that's like Zoom, only the sound actually transmits. So I have to get you two together to figure out how we can, and you too, Argon, so we can all get on a better system than Zoom
yeah.
for sound.
Yeah.
So-
Always Zoom is always disappointing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's beyond the sunken cake.
I also want to mention that
Yeah.
the time when we had that outdoor ritual that was planned, it poured and poured and poured until we had to go to Ariel's house. And in the house, there's a painting on the wall that was a portrait of Lila'Angelique.
I mean, the same colors on her face as the painting. She stood under it, and we all just, Argon brought our attention. She said, "Go stand there, Leela, under the painting." It was unbelievable. It was like the moment the painter had painted it for that moment.
It was unbelievable. I had this star on my forehead, which I'd never done
Unbelievable,
before.
yeah.
And there was a star on
Shocking.
the painting. Yeah. And I transcended myself in that moment. I just sang to that painting, and then I stepped over into another realm, and all the priestesses and goddesses were witnessing. It was incredible. It was just like, wow,
high magic.
finding our,
Yeah, totally high magic. So
Yeah.
let's see if there's anything else that's in the hearts of anybody that you want to share, either in reflection or question.
Ariel, may I speak to that what you just mentioned?
Oh, absolutely. Whatever you want to do.
Because it's an interesting thing for me. I just maybe 2 weeks ago have really opened up to the fact that I won an Academy Award, and I have not spoken of it for 20 years. It's kind of something that I've not owned it to, and it's a growth in me. It's a growth in me to fully stand in my truth and my largeness. And one of the things that I err on is being humble.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll concur with that.
So it was a wonderful step for me. And now we have on our sign 2002 Oscar winner Thoth.
Hooray! We bow to you in that.
Yeah,
And that's the culture who had completely rejected everything about who you were, saying yes. So that's a real accolade from a culture that could not get who you were. And this is one of the questions I wanted to really be sure we asked before we quit today. And that is, I know you both had very difficult childhoods, being biracial and I don't know what you'd call it, but transsexual anyway, but that you both had difficult experiences in your childhood because of your differences, how unique you both were. And how has that played into the creation of who you are as these magnificent artists that you are? How did that pain shape you?
Oh, thank you. For me, I was an outcast from birth. I never tried to fit in or be accepted, because there was never, I grew up in the middle of the country, in the South, and I never tried to be accepted. I never tried to fit in or make sense of the way the world was. I was always in my spirit realm, in my fantasy world. And that was the biggest comfort for me. Mocking, bullying, and isolation of school was just an identical twin. And I won, and at the end of high school, I won most individualistic, which was fascinating, because it suddenly felt like, wow, people see me, because I spent many years in school after having been picked on and bullied so viciously, not speaking to anyone and just dressing like a clown and dressing just as freakishly as I could, because that was the way I could say, like, and singing all the time. So that was the way I could just be who I was. I never tried to not be who I was. And I don't know if I was searching, but when I found Thoth, like I said, it was the first person. I was 20 who didn't say no to me. He didn't really put his hand up and say no or stop or do something different. There was just utter acceptance. And of course, through 20 years of having felt so just like I just couldn't fit into anything, to feel total acceptance from this man who had this beautiful voice and beautiful physicality and beautiful spirit, I just instantly fell in love. There was no way I couldn't. And that flows into my life as an artist, is that I don't try to fit my very unusualness into this world, because I know it doesn't fit. Mm-hmm. I fitted into my own fantasy, and I created my own stories and my own reality and my own life and my own family.
So really your fantasy life as a child shaped how you could be such an incredibly creative and imaginative artist.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
It really played into that. If you'd fit in, you would have been boring, Lila.
And I was trying to be an opera singer for the longest time. I wanted to be in Cirque du Soleil and be on Broadway, and that's what I thought I wanted to do. And then, you know, when I met Thoth and I realized and I learned over a very long time that you can write your own music, improvise your own sound, and do your own thing, and that was possible. There was no way I would ever want to do something that other people could do. I take a lot of joy and pride in that no one else can do what we do because of, you know, the very unusual path that we've followed.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Thoth? Oh, and then, Joanne, do you need to?
No, it's just about Lila, but go ahead. You can finish.
No, if it's appropriate to her, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Lila, I was wondering, just particularly given how you answered the question about where you're from, your star family, just on what you came from to this gray, brown, black. Those first 20 years, did you have any transmission or connection that allowed and guided you at all to being able to survive, even maybe more than survive, but to really be able to stay a course and in your singing? I mean, what happened for you that allowed you to hold it together on planet Earth?
I have that answer for you if you'd like.
I have an answer on the tip of my tongue that I discovered. I discovered, might sound silly, but I discovered this mythical being that was described in this reality as he was the Phantom of the Opera. There was a book written about him a long time ago, but it's this paradigm of the misunderstood genius, and I fell in love with that image of incredibly misunderstood being that was hated and despised, but deep down was a really deep, profoundly beautiful, profoundly deep being that just could not be seen because of the way they physically were. And to experience that in my childhood, that coincided with my sexual awakening also. So I really connected that to, and that's another reason why I'm a virgin, is this mythical image of this being that doesn't exist in this reality. So nothing could ever compare to that. But that mythology of the misunderstood genius being that I saw in this Phantom of the Opera character basically was like my saving grace when I was young. And it just was something I clung to through my childhood and gave me immense insight into that it was okay for me to not be understood, that there was something so profoundly beautiful about being a misunderstood genius. I knew my own genius. I knew what I was, but I knew that nobody could see me in that world. So I just really related to that character, that mythical character. And I have relationships with people in my life now, one of them being Thoth, that, you know, reflects very much that misunderstood genius character. And I definitely have clung to those people in my physical life as well. So that is that mythic concept is something that just was able to take me away from the world and help me survive in that, you know, in the emptiness and misunderstandingness of where I was.
Beautiful answer. Thank you for the question, Joanne.
Thank you. What a wonderful question.
Mm-hmm. It's I'm trying to locate where this came from, because the writer of Phantom of the Opera is not necessarily the most wonderful writer. So I'm really seeking this. This is some sort of coded mythology, and I really want to find it. And I really want, because he bought it and made this thing. Then it became this fancy Broadway show and all this stuff. But what's happening before that? Where is this coming from? And I, because I'm connected to it also, and a lot of people around us are. So I'm. If anybody has researched a bit of this kind of mythos, I would love to hear.
Yes, and Thoth had, he has that kind of mythic connection that he was in a tunnel, down in a dark cell in a cave where people really couldn't see him. He was this misunderstood great being of, immense depth, immense warmth and love, but also seemed to be very frightening and initially, and very, like he was crazy or something. But because of that connection that I had, is what he was. An actor friend of ours from the UK who I have a similar kind of connection with, person who we're working on doing an opera with in the UK when this whole thing is over. So that connection to that thing just runs through my DNA and has influenced my whole life.
Thank you. And so what about your childhood, Thoth? What stands out as having shaped who you are from the pain of your childhood as an artist?
I would immediately say my mother, and her very powerful presence and her unique presence in classical music, and struggling against all of the odds to be the first Black timpanist, the first this, the first that, enabled me to stand strong even against her when the going got tough. And because I imbibed all of her teaching of stick-to-itness and strength in the face of huge odds. And even further, I took it into my own work, into creating my own work, and in doing it no matter what and no matter where. The gender thing, to speak of it, I remember getting into her clothes, and she was not pleased with that. That's one of the things that was one of the difficulties for her in regards to me, because I was breaking all the rules. There was not a single rule that I was not going to break.
Not some of them, but everything.
Everyone. And I adore it. I now only wear dresses. I don't consider myself transsexual or transgender, or just consider myself a beautiful being who loves to adorn myself however I.
Exactly. Beautiful. You don't need
I'm
any labels.
by gender, and no, I don't need any labels. And in my, everybody's using pronouns. They're saying what pronoun they want to be, and I'm Thoth, and Thoth.
Good for you. That's beautiful. That's a great statement. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much more here. Just so much more. And I know it's just titillating, really, that the depths that we could go to here, because these both are such enormously rich consciousnesses. Maybe we can have you on another day or something to deepen, but rather than going way over, I want to just say, if there's anything that you're burning with right now that you have to say to complete, then by all means, please, you too, if there's some completion statement that you want to make, just feel into what it is that you would want us to be left with.
I would like to express my deepest gratitude for this time that we are having together. What a joy to deepen into knowing and receiving you and receiving your light. Thank you so much. One of the things I would like us to I would like you to tell us about is for the ones of us or the beings that are not able to come and see your performance in person, is there currently, or is there a way that is being worked on so that we can be in touch with you, so that more people can be communicating or in touch with you and knowing about what you're doing, what you're up to, your performances, and things like that?
Website.
We have a website. We just recently put the website up. So there's a link to our YouTube channel where I post little things occasionally. There's really no way to experience, in all honesty, there's no way to really experience our work digitally.
No, it loses something. There's
something.
The exact thing that it loses is that we are touching you, and we are in everybody. When somebody's watching us, they're separated from us. They're just looking at a picture of us, or the sound's coming from there. But when we're there, we're all there together, and that sound and is being manifested by everybody there. We are the conduit, and so therefore it's a whoops.
Oops.
Whoops. There you are. You're down at the bottom.
Sorry, it says my battery.
That's an example.
It says my battery is going low, so let me get
That's okay. That's why we want you go ahead and finish with your completion statement. We don't want you to. We don't want to lose you.
I really speak of live as live because we're at a time where everything's on the internet now because of the way things are, and that is cutting stuff out. We are the real thing. We are real when we're real, and we're real at sunset in indigo light. And it would be lovely always to be in everybody's presence whenever they can be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When is that, by the way? You said Golden Gate Park sunset Wednesday through Saturday. I just want
Wednesday through Sunday at and it's the House of Flowers. There's a tunnel.
Yeah. Okay.
And that it's very much protected. It's one of those fortunate situations where we're down in the belly in a pit sort of, and the resonance moves up out of that pit, and so everybody is not being fearful of being in contact can stay as far away as they need to be to experience us, and yet they're still embraced by the sound. Anyway, there's a map on the website. It's very
tribalbaroque.com is our website.
Oh yeah, good linear detail. Yes, we need to put that in the after email, Argon, of course. Yeah.
And
So
all the other connections, YouTube and Instagram are on there are links on the website to get to those to see more.
And there's a way to email us there too. So we're very happily willing to answer any questions. We're always at that tunnel 5 days a week, and we're not inaccessible. So our hope and our desire is to be able to share this with as many people as possible, because I feel like it can change the world.
It
honestly.
is changing the world, Lila.
Thank you.
Right now, heart by heart. And another possibility is sponsor them to come to your town and perform there, because they travel, and that's another possibility of opening. If you wanted to have them to Maui, Amber, for example, I'm sure they wouldn't be adverse to coming to Maui.
We would not. Yes, if we're offered, that's our way of traveling, is if we're offered a place to stay, and a place to stay is very important. And then a place to perform is, we can find kind of on our own if it's a public space. We've been in this one place for over a year now, which is fascinating, playing in one spot, living in one home. We're very blessed to be sponsored and sheltered by our amazing host, John, during this time. It's a miracle. The whole thing is just absolutely miraculous.
Yep. Well, you deserve miracles, beloveds. We all do. And thank you for being an exemplar of that, living as the miracle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, each one, for the miracle of who you are and what you bring. Incredible gift, each one of you are, to bring your gifts here, and to be together in this is an immense blessing. So thank you so much. And thank you, Lila and Thoth, for taking time today to make this happen, and all of you for making time in your day for it to happen. Thank you. And we have a couple of people coming up on Community Luminaries. Who's up on the docket? I think Diana and yourself. I think you're next. That the holy oils people, Diana, who was on earlier and had to get off, and Argon are both makers of holy oils and anointing. And then Sarah Drew is going to come on the following
April
month with the Gaia Codex. So we have some exciting things coming up too on Community Luminaries. Keep joining us. Thank you for loving us and being part of this heart community. Each one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Feel the gratitude of my heart and our love. So blessed be everyone.